Each week we invite people to give us their questions over at our website, which is whatsonsports.com. And when they do, we jump in and we answer the questions to the best of our ability. Now, we also want to thank, before we go any further, our sponsor, sportstradingsystems.com, which I've mentioned several times throughout the show. But I want to thank the people that have listened to the show all year long. Now, on downloads, we have a couple thousand downloads a week for each show that we put out. And, on the show, we'll have anywhere from 30 to 150, 200 people sometimes watching us between YouTube and Facebook on our live shows. For those of you that have watched, for those of you that have stuck around and commented and really become a part of the show, I'd like to thank you guys, because without people like Steve and Zach and Jack Sparrow. I'm thinking of a movie name. Without Jack Sparrow, without you guys actually helping us and commenting throughout the way, the show probably wouldn't be the same. So I do want to thank everybody out there who has helped us to build this show into what it is. And we promise you that in 2021, we'll try to build it even better. Now, let's get to our questions really quick. Again, these all came off of our website at whatsonsports.com. If you have any questions you want to ask, go over there and ask them, and we'll try to answer them to the best of our ability. You have said that Aaron Rodgers should get consideration for MVP, but don't you think that Tom Brady should at least be in the conversation? That's the question. Here's the answer. The answer is, yeah, of course. There are a lot of guys that should be in the conversation. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is in the conversation. To me, at one point, I had said before, although I don't think he is anymore, Ben Roethlisberger was in the conversation. Derrick Henry should be in the conversation. I think Ryan Tannehill is part of a conversation that you have. I think Tom Brady is at least worthy of being part of the conversation. But when it really comes down to a final three people, my finalist for MVP, I don't think Tom Brady's even close to that. He's had a good year. He's had the year that we sort of expected from him. I don't think he's been the most valuable asset to that team. I think that team is just so filled with stars that every week somebody else kind of comes up and does something great. And Brady's been either very, very good or very, very bad. And I think that's true for most players. But when you're very, very bad to the point where people are saying you're done and you should retire, I find it hard to believe that you can still be involved in what we call a most valuable player of the year conversation. So no, Tom Brady would not be one of my finalists, but of course, he could probably at least be part of the conversation. Next question. With all the talk of Urban Meyer coming to the NFL, where do you think he fits best? I think Urban Meyer fits best on a NBC, CBS, ESPN, somewhere on a couch talking about football. Urban Meyer is a wealth of college football information. He's a wealth of football information in general, but you would have to search far and wide to find someone that's had the kind of success that Urban Meyer has had in the NCAA, two different programs, and find somebody that was able to make that jump to the NFL. It is an almost impossible jump to make. Jimmy Johnson is the only one that comes to mind. Barry Switzer made the same jump with a team that Jimmy Johnson had put together. But since those two coaches came from the NFL and the NCAA to the NFL, no one has made the jump and made a championship. Urban Meyer in the college format has complete and total control over his entire program. He recruits who he wants. He had recruited who he wanted. He coaches the way he wants to. He's a dominant force in college football, as are most college coaches. That's why they have the trouble coming into the NFL, where they have to deal with an owner. They have to deal with the general manager. They have to deal with the fans. They have to deal with players that are in their 30s that don't want to listen. So where should Urban Meyer go next year? I think Urban Meyer should stay the hell home. Enjoy your family, enjoy your money, stay on TV. It's great to listen to you. If anything, if he's itching to coach, there is some powerful football team out there in the NCAA, maybe Michigan, looking to change up their coach, get some new recruiting going in. I think Urban Meyer should finish up his career, if he wants to, in college football. Last one. You seem really good at predicting shocking moments in sports. Who are your surprise teams in the NFL playoffs? I've mentioned this before, and I will mention it again right here. In the AFC, my surprise team is going to be the Titans. Now, I realize the Titans have not played very well at some points throughout the season, and they're in a precarious situation right now with probably the most difficult matchup on Sunday that actually will either put them in the playoffs or put them out. If they are able to beat the Houston Texans on Sunday, to me, they are one of the most dangerous teams in the NFL because they are built for the playoffs. They have a sled dog at running back. They can actually run the ball really, really well. He's a guy you don't want to Oh, I stand corrected. Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's a good call, Steve. But he's one of those guys you don't want to tackle, obviously. We just had a conversation on who would you rather tackle. I think Derrick Henry can do some real damage in the playoffs, so I would not want to face the Titans in the playoffs. In the AFC, I'm sorry, in the NFC, it's if there's going to be a surprise team over there, a team that really shocks everybody, a team that really surprises everybody, I would really go with Seattle. And Seattle's one of those teams that really had a lot of trouble getting it together on the defensive side of the ball. Couldn't run the ball very good the beginning part of the year, but they're really peaking now. They suddenly have a pass rush that they didn't have before. They have a defense that can actually stop people or at least slow people down. And Russell Wilson is loaded. Russell Wilson has had up and down moments throughout the season, but if he can get hot, he's loaded at the offensive weapons position. They are actually running the ball now. So Seattle's my surprise team in the NFC. The Titans are my surprise team in the AFC. If they both make it, it might be the most boring Super Bowl in the history of Super Bowls. That was that. Let's bring the guys back one more time. Guys, it's been fun so far this year. I know we're kind of new at everything we're doing, but before we wrap up the show today, I kind of wanted to hear your New Year's resolutions. And if anybody has a New Year's resolution in the chat that they would like to share with us, we'd love to hear it. So just type it in and we'll talk about it. Let's start with you first, Lance. What is your New Year's resolution?
Well, lose weight, number one, obviously. That's first and foremost in the agenda. So we're gaining a lot of pounds, especially during the holiday season. So that's what we have to do first, prioritize health. And then just keep on churning out quality articles for whatsonsports.com.
Look at you, Lance.
Such a suck up. Michael, what's your New Year's resolution?
My New Year's resolution is to drink more water, to read more books, and to write more poetry.
Wow. All at once?
Yeah, I mean, if I can. Which I probably can.
All right. I don't have a New Year's resolution. I don't believe in them. I just wanted to see what you guys were going to say. I just had to wrap up the show and see if you guys were going to wear your hearts on your sleeves or not. I don't do the New Year's resolution thing because I feel like people make a New Year's resolution and then immediately like abandon it, quit it. Like so my New Year's resolution is to try to be better than I was last year. My same New Year's resolution I make every year. As I get older, I tend to fail more, but I will continue to try to be better than I was last year at everything that I do.
That's a complete cop out of an answer, but thank you.
It's all encompassing. It actually covers absolutely everything.
Yeah.
My name is John Tedora. I've been your host today. Mr. Michael Schuessler in the building. Say Happy New Year, Michael.
Happy New Year, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Lance Fernandez. Say Happy New Year's, Lance.
Yeah, Happy New Year to everybody as well.
All right. We are quite obviously taking the rest of the week off because we got some beer to drink. Me and Philip Rivers are going to be cracking open a cold one right after the show. We'll see you on Monday.